Oh, are we live?
Are we live?
It says it's live.
Oh, we're live. It's not
Yes.
showing up on the. Oh wait,
Yeah,
here we go.
yeah. There's always a
Oh
bit of a delay, right?
yeah, I got it. I got it. Let's see. Share to a group, and let's see. Gotta scrolling.
Just broke my pencil.
Oopsie.
Oops.
Oh,
Bless you.
excuse me. It's all the drywall dust in the air.
That's not good.
Yes, I think it worked. Let me see.
I'm going
Oh
to
boy.
share to some groups as well.
Did I? Let's see.
Pushing.
How do you search? Let's see. Let's go.
Come on, Justin.
Could have sworn I did it.
All right.
Oh yeah, we're going.
Just doing some sharing.
We're
some
good.
Eyeballs. Justin in the house.
Ah, there we go. Yep. What's up, Justin? Yeah, he's. You know what? Freaking Sinister is on my list of characters that I got to do at some point. So, but again, I'm in the middle of doing, the remodel, and as if I wasn't busy enough, decided to start a new project.
That's just the way. This is the way.
This is
right?
Dude, this is. You want to talk about something that turned from, the evolution of this thing is ridiculous. I mean, it was just one of those things where I was just going to do a standard pinup, right? And everybody knows the iconic image of like Rosie the Riveter, right? So I was going to do, and I always like the whole handkerchief tied around the head, but what character can you do, right? With the do-rag on, right? And well, Elektra is up there, and I mean, even though I've drawn her way more times than I probably should,
There's
I was like,
nothing
all
wrong
right,
with
cool.
That.
Yeah, I'll do that. And then I made a joke on a post where I was where I said, like, a big Elektra collector was gonna love it, but a big Bullseye collector that doesn't care for Elektra is gonna hate it. So it's a win-win, right? So then, as a gag, I just turned around and took like the same gesture drawing and turned it into Bullseye with the same exact pose, right?
With some nipples. I don't know. Maybe you might need to put like a sticky over that.
I may, but he's gonna be covered in chest hair and back hair and shoulder hair and stuff like that because it's hilarious. But I've always wanted to do a piece with Elektra and Bullseye with the yin yang symbol, kind of thing. So I was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and do that. But of course, then now I'm thinking about the whole how am I going to pull off doing Bullseye in this stupid pinup pose, and then of course it's like, well, wait a minute, Palumbo and Pat pulled it off, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done before. So that was
not quite like
that. Well, I mean, it was pretty close because I took that reference and did that one sketch card of Pat
Yeah.
So, and of course, gave due credit to Dave because that's what you do. But yeah, that was so. Yeah, it just turned into this. This thing just snowballed into hilarity.
Justin's saying, so good.
Now I'm stuck with it, basically.
Yeah, now it's gotta happen.
Yep. What is it? What Justin say?
Justin's taking a timeout from Spidey Metal.
Dude, I really feel for the guys that are, kind of bumming on that and or got sucked into it or whatever. I mean, you do you, right? But it just, I don't know. I think that a lot of people left a bad taste in their mouth. And what I'm going to do next week, I was going to do it this weekend, but Fuller's got his, we got the 4,000 member
extravaganza all weekend
extravaganza
long.
going this weekend. So I didn't want to steal any of that thunder. But which isn't really a big deal because it's, all giveaways. But I think next week I'm doing I'm going to do a claim sale for these paintings that I finished off. So, and when I say a claim sale, I mean like a sale, like marking things down,
like back to school special.
Yeah, like a back to school special, but it's to some degree it's in response to the whole when Spidey Metal came out on EPAC. Everybody was really kind of hoping that the prices would settle in a little bit or a little more than what it did. So there are a lot of people that simply tapped out, or and in all fairness, there could have been people that said that they were tapping out and didn't. But regardless, for those that did tap out, I mean, you could basically get like a fully done painting like this for less than half a box of Spidey Metal.
What's up, Jayhawk?
That's my game plan. At least give somebody a little reprieve, but also have something to show for it. And of course, it's not like I've got hundreds of paintings or anything like that, but something floats your boat and you like it, it'll be available. And this is the first time I've made these available in terms of for sale.
Yeah, my focus seems to be. So my stream seems really fuzzy on the playback.
Sure, it's not the airbrush. It does look fuzzy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the playback and it's looking really pixelated. But when I look at it in StreamYard, it looks fine.
Yeah, no, it looks a little fuzzy. I don't know. Do the whole hand thing. Where you focus in on the hand.
No, I don't have autofocus on. I have manual focus, so I'm not sure what its damage is. Yeah, even the hand is looking pixelated.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm not resetting the network connection right now.
Yeah. No. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that.
Anyways, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not doing anything interesting on this whole live stream. I'm just here to chat and keep you company. I'm just I'm masking this guy off, and which I probably don't need to do because what I'm going to do like a gray, right? And all this stuff's going to be covered with a different color because I'm doing the yin yang symbol, but I'm doing it in black and red.
Yeah.
But I figured, you know what, I might as well just go ahead and do this just to mask these off, even though it's not going to be an issue with the gray at all, the first layer, the first coat.
Yeah. They still
At
want to be
least
able to get crisp edges, right?
Yeah, but it'll it'll be good for when I do the actual yin yang symbol, which is going to be. I got this idea. I hope it turns out all right. But instead of straight up just kind of laying a coat, a layer of the color, I'm thinking about just sponging it on and making it really, really blotchy. You know what I mean? So it's it's not incredibly well defined.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
So look, yeah. I mean, if
So
that comes out, like if you pull that off, it's gonna look sick.
yeah, and then over that do like a splatter, right? Like on, if you got one side that's red and one side that's black, do like a black splatter on the red and do a red splatter on the black. I don't know. It's just we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's
So you're doing his background red and her background black? Is that the plan?
yeah, That's the game plan, because I was like looking at the layout or whatever, because he's his costume is black, so you want to give him the negative, right, which would be the red, her red, right?
Yeah.
But if this part right here is red, then this dot's got to be black, which is good because I mean this is all going to be flesh tones anyways, right? Whereas
Oh,
with
it could
her,
the dot could be white on both.
oh, it could be. It could be. But I was
Okay.
thinking with her, because she's got the black hair and we'll have flesh tones here, it'll be black and then red around here. So the only thing that you're going to have that's going to be pretty close in color is the do-rag with the red. But if I go with a different tone of red, right?
Then you can get the contrast there.
Exactly, and then hit it. When you do the highlights and stuff from the reference and whatnot, that'll help make it pop as well, because the back's going to be relatively flat. Oh, and I'm also going to do, once I get the yin yang and the gray, put in, then I'm going to add the lettering.
Oh, you are going to do lettering?
I am going to do the lettering, yeah. So, I mean, theoretically they could be standalones.
Yeah.
But
okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
that'll be cool.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm just curious. And what's funny is that this whole project is, I had made the comment that this is probably the dumbest thing I've done.
And don't sell yourself short. I'm sure you've done dumber things.
Oh no, I mean artistic. Well, no, even there. No, but the thing is, commercially speaking,
right,
this is not the brightest thing, because first of all, you're talking about whatever the cost is for a single painting, and you're basically doing two as a set, so you basically kind of double the cost. But it's also two characters that are not, literally they're like, when it comes to like, especially from a character collector thing standpoint, there's really only a couple of people that are the big fish, with these two characters, so to speak. And it's, I mean, I'm not saying I'm targeting them. I'm doing it because, to be honest, because I've got a silly sense of humor. But like from a commercial standpoint, it's like, it doesn't make sense to, do something this big for, and be something that's basically kind of priced out of the, out of reach.
Yeah.
So, but it's again, when it's all said and done,
it's a fun exercise. It'll be cool.
Yeah, exactly. When it's all said and done, this is just going to be. I'm doing it just for the cool factor, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
you could always
because
option it to Marvel.
I'm sorry, what? Oh yeah.
You could always option it to Marvel.
Yeah, that'll go over well, I'm sure. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. I was really, believe it or not, I was super happy with how the line drawing came out
Yeah,
for
for both
I
of
mean
them
it
actually.
and I used multiple reference. I mean I literally did use the Rosie the Riveter um poster image. Um I did use model reference, um, and then of course the mannequin as
Yeah,
well. So and then just kind of I didn't do like because I mean a lot of guys do the Frankenstein Photoshop
hmm,
thing, which I considered doing, but it's I'm also in this situation where my entire studio is kind of torn
upside
apart.
down and inside out.
Right. So it's like I don't even have a printer. I don't, nothing's really set up to kind of do it. So I did the Frankenstein analog style. So I just basically printed out the model reference, and then when I transferred it, I did kind of move things around to kind of contort uh, the the anatomy.
To get it to the position
Yeah,
you
to
want.
get that. Yeah, to get the extra bends and that more pinup-y kind of a pose kind of a thing.
Well,
And
thanks,
then
Jayhawk. Enjoy dinner.
see you, dude. Oh, Jeff and Jan are watching.
What's up, guys?
But anyways, no, I was like super stoked about the pose, about the just the original line drawing. So this is again going back to the whole thing where it's like you're just doing it to kind of learn and test things and so on and so forth. It's this one I'm going to take a little bit of time with, which is why I'm not like jumping totally into it, because this is actually something that I'm probably going to focus on
For a while.
when I get the studio put back in order.
Yeah,
So
it looks good, man.
so
Don't
for
rush it.
everybody
Take your
that's
time with it.
so anybody that's watching, yeah, I'm doing is masking today. Not doing anything interesting. But I don't know, it's going to be a fun project.
Yeah,
But
for sure. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Yeah.
speaking of projects, I think I've finally gotten to the point in this studio where I'm like painting. So I'm like, it's almost the home stretch.
Hi, Roy.
Art
I'm
of
trying to keep.
Roy. Art of Roy cover. Hi, Roy. Um, I don't. I'm gonna have to figure who's Roy.
Roy Cover.
Gonna
He's
have
an
to check his
artist
stuff
on
out.
YouTube. Trying to. Shit, I should have looked it up because he was in the chat the other day. Actually, probably after you left, to give me some tips.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
um, and I know I looked him up after because I know the name was familiar, but now I can't remember who he is. Sorry, man.
Well, I'm
Um,
definitely gonna go check him out. And he's just on the Tube of You or
he's
other.
on YouTube right now. I'm
No, I meant like other social. Hey, Roy, do me a favor and throw down your socials just for giggles. We're all about spreading wealth here.
It's the Art of Roy Cover on YouTube. But I'm pretty sure I follow him on Instagram. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't remember who you are. I did look. Um,
What was funny is that when I started doing the painting thing, I was kind of getting into the whole, when you do your drawing, or whatever. I was getting into the whole really fleshing out some tones and so on and so forth.
There it is. Sorry. Yeah, Roy does sketch cards for Tops and Rittenhouse.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
The really, is everything due on Monday then? It's a bit of an inside joke. Nothing but Sarlacc pits. They'll go by quick. Yeah, so I was I was going into that whole thing where it was like, okay, I really want to kind of flesh out what the game plan is in the drawing phase. So I'd like throw down all my tones and so on and so forth, which is I mean that's a good way to approach it in terms of just basically getting your game plan together.
Lots of Twi'leks.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the thing is that when it's all said and done, you cover it all up anyway, so it's kind of a wasted effort.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was laughing at Roy's comment.
Oh, I didn't see it because I'm not watching on the tube.
No, it's in the comment. It said lots of Twi'leks.
Oh, Twi'leks? Yeah. Yeah, no hair. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So I guess he's in on the joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like it just seems like it's when you're covering everything up, it's almost a waste, and and you also run the risk, especially if you're using graphite or whatever, of kind of deadening the painting, especially when you're doing the washes, with all the grays and stuff.
Yeah, see, I'm actually, I keep on flip-flopping between that and between doing the tight underpainting or underdrawing and not. And I'm leaning more towards doing the tight underdrawing.
Yeah, see, I'm leaning more towards the doing just a line drawing, and then when I go into my underpainting, establishing my values there, right? And then as it comes together, you can keep, kind of tweaking it. But, for the most part, just block it out, establish your values in an underpainting, whether it's like, whether you could use a sepia or green, purple, blue, red, whatever, quoting, whatever color seems to make sense, right? And then just, build from there. So, kind of coming from a more printout scan of my drawing with some light spray glue as mask. You know what?
Saves
Dre
a ton
does
of
that too.
Yeah, I do that for airbrushing. I'll photocopy. Like here's the photocopy for the Spider-Man that I was working on the other day. So I photocopied it, and I always do 2 copies. And then I cut out Spider-Man and used that as a mask. Though at the end of the day, I didn't really end up masking Spider-Man. But that's what I did for this guy. I had a mask of him. I did 1 coat over the whole thing, and I just taped it to the paper. And you can see that's where it was taped and was taped here. I sprayed the whole thing. Then I put him on, sprayed the background to get kind of more of the loose texture. Definitely simpler than Frisket.
Yeah, I normally I would do.
But you don't spray, right, Warner?
No, but it's I'll be using a sponge, so.
I wonder if that should work.
What?
If you're sponging the background and you put paper down, because you just sponge the edges like that.
Yeah. No, I know. Like I said, I'm just doing this to be busy work for the stream. I mean,
okay.
Normally I would do I would actually just take painter's tape and mask it off with painter's tape, and then just do the art masking fluid and just do the edges and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do that, and then. But but the other thing is that sometimes, and especially with this fluid, if I were to just do it this, you're going to have blotches where for some reason it just doesn't, you didn't get the masking fluid in. So what I do sometimes is, I think it was the last piece I did the whole character like this and then use the painter's tape.
To block off the main areas?
Yeah, the main areas, and then turn around and like basically masked off with the fluid the edges of the tape just to kind of keep it a little more, sealed.
Yeah.
And that seemed to actually work out
Did it?
best.
I mean,
but again,
a couple of times. So go ahead.
But again, it's you're doing twice the amount of work, and but that's how I operate. Work harder, not smarter. So
Got to stay on brand. Like the few times I tried using masking fluid, I did not have good results. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but like I just could not get sharp edges.
You just got to kind of cake it on. I mean, it's not like, especially I can't use it. I can't put it on with a brush. I mean, first of all, it's just brushes are absolutely useless. So I got these silicone brushes.
Yeah.
It's just like a little rubber tip, and
just a tip.
And it's super easy to clean, obviously, because you just peel the stuff off when it dries. But I've done it with a regular brush, regular cheap brush, and it's like, you use it once.
Just destroy the brush.
Yeah, and you just throw it away. Grab a pack of art brushes from the grocery store or whatever in the toy aisle, and just use those. But
yeah, and I think that might be part of the reason I mess up, because I tend to go really light. It's like I can't get it through my head that I could just cake on paint or anything.
Right.
Okay, Jay Fife will be joining us momentarily. I'm just going to let him finish setting up.
Okay.
I see he's in the back room. Jay, just give me a thumbs up on your video when you're good to go. He's good to go.
Oh, no. Sorry.
No, remove.
Not ready. All right, bye.
He's gone.
No. Sorry.
No. Change plan. Abort.
He's probably using the restroom.
No judgment.
No.
Get your shit together.
It's been a while. I haven't talked to Jay in a minute.
Yeah, it's definitely.
He's been busy.
Yeah, I chatted with him the other day. Okay, now he's drawing.
Okay, is he ready now? Get the
thumbs
up.
He fingered me.
I fingered you.
There you go. The magic
Jay.
finger.
Hello.
What's going on, buddy?
Oh, I'm here drawing.
Been a while.
Yeah, sorry it took so long here. I wanted to get some food in me before I started doing this. Plus, I had to clean up. I just got done doing the lawn.
Oh, yeah. I'm I gotta get the drywall dust off me. There's ick.
Yeah.
Hey, babe.
That's good.
Hi, J5.
Hi, J5.
Hi there. Is that Cat?
Yeah.
Hi, Cat.
Says hi.
And there are the dogs.
Everybody's got something to say today.
And the dogs are barking too.
My dogs are barking. Jay, what are we working on? What's everybody? We got random. What do you got going, Jay?
Just a piece for the portfolio right now. I didn't really have anything that I could bring over real fast. and be able to work on tonight. So I'm giving the commissions a little bit of a break, and this was kind of something I light boxed about a week ago. Have been wanting to start working on. It's I don't know. Lately, I've been doing this thing with a lot of giant women. I don't know if that's some kind of weird fetish or what. But they're fun to draw.
It's, you know what? It's because of She-Hulk being on.
Might be.
Disney
Now
Plus.
this goes back. Actually, this has been going back a while. This was I've done a couple pieces like this with these like giant freaking barbarian women, and men, picking up and knitting like little guys.
Hey, Jay, Roy Cover says, I think I remember you from digital webbing many moons ago.
Digital webbing. I'm not sure I know what that means either.
Okay.
It was
what's his name?
I think it was a forum, wasn't it? It was an old artist forum back in, oh gosh, it's got to be at least 20 years ago now.
Oh, wow. Roy Cover?
Roy Coven?
Cover. Like book cover?
Sketch cover.
I hope I don't offend him, but I'm going blank here. I don't. But it's all that acid I took.
It's hey, you know what? I think I know you from the Netscape days.
Tell me about.
Yeah. Was it? So again, I was going through. Yeah, here it is. It's right here. Oh.
Well, anyway, regardless. Hi, Roy. Let's not be rude here. I'm sorry.
This was that was a website that was like a forum. The comic boards, and it was like back in the day. It was like supposed to kind of like team people up, artists and writers and things like that. But it's probably around that same time. I want to say that that's what it was. Roy can correct me.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's I mean, if I could safely say my memory was infallible, then
Yeah.
You're an old.
I'd argue with them.
You're an old grumpy
it's
man.
quite possible. That's me. That's me.
Yeah, just have that conversation.
Michelle,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Michelle and I were laughing a couple days ago about just how many of those things that we can relate to in those commercials about turning into your parents, the insurance company.
Oh yeah, those are hilarious.
Yeah, we do so many of those.
Yeah, it's right up there with like what was that? I don't even remember what the commercial was for. It might have even been the same insurance company or whatever, but it was the old lady that had her, all those pictures that were taped up on her wall.
Oh, this is the web. This is the internet.
And it's like
this is my wall, she said. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't how this works. That's not how any of this works.
And she's like, I unfriend you, and she went over and pulled the picture off.
Roy says that he might be confusing you with Jay Faber or Faber.
See.
I think he just got told, man.
See, that's what I tell everybody. I don't matter. don't say you remember me. You probably don't. My entire existence is being confused for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, it's somebody that owes you money. Then it's definitely not me.
We had someone on a stream once a while back, Jay. Somebody said, "Oh, I still gotta pay for something," and you're like, "I have no idea who you are, man." Remember that?
Oh, my God! That was a
So
while ago, wasn't it?
No, that was a while ago, but it's just like he's in the chat saying, "Oh, so sorry, I guess still got to pay you." You had no clue who he was.
Like, good lord, you do? It might be that Jay Faber. I might be taking Jay Faber's money.
mm,
No refunds.
No, none.
no regrets. How that looks.
Lord, I don't know what they're barking at.
Sounds like the dog saying, "Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit."
Who let the dogs out?
Jay did.
Did earlier.
Mm,
So what's been going on? Hang on a second. Roy's explaining what digital webbings was. It was a site for wannabe comic book artists. They produced an anthology book called Digital Webbing Presents. Launched a bunch of well-known comic artists' careers like Ryan Otley and Mahmoud Asardi.
Oh,
That's
okay.
way before my time.
that's right. Mm. Who let the dogs out?
They're just going nuts.
That's
All
right.
right.
Yeah, this is all way before my time.
Yeah, I think you're right about might have been the Netflix era.
When you actually had to mail it out.
Mahmoud Aswar. Okay.
Let's see.
So what's going on in the fandom this week? Outside of Spider-Man metal breaking, the card collection, the Marvel card collection hobby.
Well, I've been digging She-Hulk a lot.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny because it gets such mixed reviews in terms of, like it's people I know where it's like, oh my goodness, this is the worst thing ever. It's so like some people are saying that it's like super woke, and I'm not. I mean, and don't get me, I'm usually kind of tuned into that kind of stuff, but I'm not seeing any super wokeness, at all. But then again, I'm also looking at it going, dude, this is John Byrne's She-Hulk.
Yeah, it is. It's spectacular She-Hulk. It literally is.
Yeah,
It's insanely entertaining. Like, I never really read She-Hulk, and I don't really know much about the character, but it's just really entertaining.
Yeah, and that's all it's supposed to be, or at least his run was just fun. It was kind of tongue in cheek in the first place, the breaking the fourth wall.
Isn't it like when they first introduced her, wasn't it like really serious, and they were trying to make her like another kind of Avengers spin-off thing, and it was terrible. And I mean, I think the comic bombed after like a year.
Yeah.
And then Byrne, I don't know where he got. Oh, that's what they brought her into the Fantastic Four. Byrne wrote her into the Fantastic Four when he took that line over. That's where he got into that character.
Right. When she replaced the Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but the thing is that I think that not a lot of people know the character or know of the character's history and stuff. So they just kind of, this is nothing like Bruce Banner Hulk. Yeah, it's not. I mean, that's kind of the whole shtick. But again, like I said, you either have people. There's nobody that's really kind of in the middle on the show, on She-Hulk. Either people love it or people hate it.
Just fine. I mean, I think most of the Disney Plus Marvels like that. Like,
right.
Yeah.
I find it incredibly entertaining. I mean, I think that it is by far, in my personal opinion, I think it's probably the most entertaining Disney Plus MCU show out there.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I'm not arguing with you. I think I find it's too short. Like it goes by really quick, and every episode leaves me wanting to watch more. I'm like, but this is already
Yeah,
over,
yeah.
and there's what, like
There's
one episode left,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah,
really.
6 episodes. Yeah, 6 episodes.
and
Oh man.
you
Well,
know, I
maybe it's
mean,
going to be a double sized episode.
Well, maybe a lot of that is because of the whole backlash that's been going on with their series anyway. And they were skeptical going into this thing, and they're like, well, let's just make, because it was supposed to, I think, it'd be 9 episodes, and they cut it down to 6. And then they were
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's just make them short.
That's, and to Dre's point, it's like, yeah, I mean, there is something about the show that kind of leaves you wanting more. You
Yeah.
know? And kudos to the writers and producers, and obviously the actors, because I mean, she's I don't know what her name is, but she's
Tatiana something. I think Tatiana, no?
Tatiana Massey?
I don't know, but she's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, dude, she's great." And what is
Orphan Black?
Orphan Black? I've never seen it. Don't know anything about it.
She's
So
incredible in it.
She's kind of I mean, I know nothing about her, but she's, as Jennifer Walters, she's absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, she's the character. She is perfect.
Tatiana Maslany. There you go. Thanks, Roy.
Ow.
She's now, I will say this: the effects are kind of shit at times.
Yeah, but
And a lot of people are talking about that, and I'll agree. Like, but it's a TV show. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really got to. I think it really needs to. It's really should be resting on its writing anyway. I mean, if it's gonna be like Spectacular She-Hulk, that's what it's always been. Is sort of a comic book version of Ally McBeal.
Right.
It shouldn't matter whether. Okay, she moves a little glitchy like Fiona from Shrek, but if it's still a funny moment, or she's got a great line coming up or anything, or they're making a good point. Okay, great, but how many action sequences have there been in the damn thing since it started? I can count those on half a hand.
So, I think it was, well, yeah, I mean, it was just really 2 episodes, right? It was the first one, obviously, the training montage thing, and then you've got and the thing where she gets attacked by the 3 hoodlums or something. That was pretty much it, right?
Well, I was gonna say the demon fight. When
The demon fight was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and they did a good job with that.
I think it kind of struggles with when they're matting her into scenes with real people, but when it's a full CG scene like her fighting the demons, that's rudimentary VFX these days, right?
Yeah.
It's all fake environments, and the lighting's good, and the positioning and the tracking's all on point because it's all one solid environment. But yeah, I don't know, like, I watch most of it without actually watching it, just listening, and that's what makes it entertaining. And I'll look up at the screen every now and then.
Yep.
But and that just speaks to the writing.
And exactly.
I think you're right. Yeah, if you're compositing, lighting's a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, it's like, because you hear a lot of people. Remember when they first came out with the trailer and everybody was complaining about the CG.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, CG sucks, and it's like, okay, well, first of all, it's a trailer, so let's not get our panties in a bunch. But I always looked at it from the standpoint, it's like, dude, it's a TV show. I mean, it's not like they've got the kind of budget for, it's Disney, it's Marvel, whatever. It still doesn't change the fact that the bank.
This is not a $200 million production.
No. So the thing is I I'm I'm okay with it. I didn't even think that that it wasn't a deal breaker for me in terms of the CGI in the trailer. I was still pretty stoked about it because I knew it. I mean, if you know She-Hulk or are somewhat familiar with the character at all, you knew from the moment that first trailer dropped that it was a John Byrne She-Hulk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was like, okay, this is going to be fun, and it'll be nice to see like a change in terms of the tone for some of these Marvel projects, right?
Right.
But going back to the CG thing, when the show finally came out, and everybody's like, "Oh, thank goodness they fixed all the CG." I'll be honest with you, I didn't see any difference. I mean, it didn't. I mean, it
There's not a
wasn't.
lot.
It
No,
wasn't. It wasn't something where it's like, "Oh, wow, yeah, they really knocked it out of the park." I was like, "Eh." But again, to the point of, it's all about the writing, anyways. Who gives a shit about the CG? You know.
Yeah.
But
Roy brings
Right
up a
there.
good point. Says, take note how much better her face looks compared to when her hair is tied up. And yeah, I think having her hair tied up, it just brings up too much attention to her face, which can't be realistic. Like you can't. So they're not
Look,
deforming her like they're deforming the Hulk, right?
right.
But it
look how
still can't.
freaky Blonsky. Okay.
Like who?
Look how freaky Blonsky looked when they did
Oh yeah.
the abomination in this. And they grafted Tim Roth's face right over top of that, and which they hadn't really done in the movie.
Yeah,
And
because in the
that
movie
was
you look.
jarring.
I think what I find is funny. The only thing that I'm, when it comes to being critical of the CG, is it's I feel like that there's an inconsistency to some degree in the sense that there are some shots where She-Hulk looks just like the actor, and then there are other shots where it's like it doesn't look like her at all. Like there are moments where it's like, oh yeah, that's spot on. That's just a bigger, greener version of the actress, right? Whereas there are other times where it's like, yeah, no, that doesn't really. And I think what's throwing me is the hair.
It
To be
could be. I mean,
honest.
it's tough to animate here.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, but
especially
I
a
mean,
character like
but it's
her.
also it's two completely different hairstyles too. She's got naturally curly hair, the actress does, and then whereas She-Hulk's got the straight hair, and that could be the thing that really kind of that throws me off a little bit.
Right.
The CG was never fixed. The images we saw earlier was just lower res images, and bids rush out. What is out is what it was. Yeah. See, and
There you go.
that was my point. It was like I didn't see anything that was. First of all, I didn't see anything that was wrong in the trailer, other than the fact that I think that because again, the idiot fans are like constantly, we haven't seen a trailer. We haven't seen a trailer. They give you a trailer and then they bitch about the trailer.
Oh yeah. Well, welcome to fandom. I mean, this is the way it's been.
Yeah. It's always been.
And if we're going to talk about CG, I get frustrated nowadays because everybody's crying and bitching about this, going, it's inferior, it's not great, and acting like, oh my God, we're so used to perfection. How dare you let us down? I don't want to say was okay. Go back and look at some of the movies from 10 years ago, or go back and look at movies even from 5 years ago, and look at some of the CG that now.
You want to see a CG nightmare? Go watch Toy Story.
Oh Lord, it'll hurt your head. Or Bugs Life.
Yeah.
Bugs Life blows my mind because I remember it being so much better, and you're like, wow, that is awful.
Because for its time, it didn't hold. It was new.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see anything like that before. And this is like, there's a handful of CG of heavy VFX movies that stand the test of time. Not a lot of them. Avatar.
No, they don't.
Avatar still holds. The original, and Terminator 2 still holds.
Yeah.
Uh, for
Jurassic Park to some degree does too.
the first Jurassic Park, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the CG scenes versus the animatronic scenes because they didn't do as well of a good of a job matting in animatronics into
Yeah.
the
No,
footage
agreed.
because I think the technology limitations. But the CG in Jurassic Park, the way that that's all matted, that's fantastic. It's a Terminator 2, Jurassic Park,
You said Avatar.
the Avatar. You want to talk animation that still holds? Wally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
right? Toy
I was
Story. I mean,
just
Toy Story 4 is great.
Yeah, but that's not that old. Toy Story 4 is not that old.
Toy Story 4 is not that old, so it really doesn't have an excuse. But it is superior to Toy Story 1, and Toy Story 2 is superior to Toy Story 1. But it's just
Yeah.
the limitations of the technology.
Or
Did
hell,
you guys-
let's go back and look at Spider-Man 2.
So let's not.
Yeah, I mean, good lord, the animation on Doctor Octopus and Spider-Man in their fights are like, it's terrible. I mean, it looks, car commercials nowadays are better.
Yeah.
But
What was,
yeah, but back in those days, what was that, 2000, 2002, something like that?
Yeah, it was definitely early 2000s. But I was saying, do you guys you know those the Netflix shows, Toys That Made Us, the cartoons that made,
Mhm.
whatever shows that
Yeah.
made. They got the movies that made us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Now? Have you guys seen those?
All
yeah.
of them. Yeah.
Oh
great.
man, what I just saw, because I started watching it and then it fell by the wayside and I forgot all about it, and then popped up the other day and I watched the one on Robocop.
Oh man, that's a great one.
That's what we're going.
And first of all, who knew that oh gosh, what's his name? The guy that played Robocop. Alec?
Peter Weller.
No. Who?
Yeah,
What?
Alex Murphy.
Peter Weller.
Weller.
Yeah. Who knew that guy was such a dick? Right?
No. Oh, wait. Okay, go ahead. I got a Peter Weller story. He was in Pittsburgh not that long ago.
Okay, so anyways, I thought it was really interesting where, I mean, it was really kind of cool how these guys kind of put this thing. That whole production sounds like it was an absolute disaster. In terms of just dealing with the different personalities, right?
Yeah, because the director's a
psychopath,
right?
yeah. But what I did, when and this is tying it into the whole CG thing, I found a lot of that stuff interesting where they were talking about the struggles that they had with the all the special effects and stuff with that. But
there's
okay, tell your best Peter Weller movie, in my opinion, was it Screamers?
I'm just letting you go because yeah. I owned it for a while.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie.
But I'm going to stick with Buckaroo Banzai.
Really? I always thought that the only redeeming factor to Buckaroo Banzai was Jeff Goldblum.
Well, I look at it from a philosophical standpoint. The only really redeeming thing about Buckaroo Banzai is just how freaking batshit nuts it is. The fact that it even exists, to me, is a testament to anything is possible. I mean, I've watched that movie so many times, and I still look at it and go, I don't know what I just watched. I don't even know where this came from. I don't know what could have inspired this. It looks like it's a nod to so many things, but then it's not.
Yeah, and it's like, it's seriously, who produced that?
Yeah, it's just crazy.
See,
but whatever.
That's a movie that I don't think I've ever finished watching because I'm like, I don't know what I'm watching here. This is just way too weird.
Yeah, and
and I know it's got a cult.
Yeah,
it's got a cult following, and people are like, "Oh my god, you got to watch Buckaroo Banzai." I'm like,
I'm in the cult. I'm in the cult, but here's the thing: is like I won't ever like comment on that because I don't think it's a movie that you really need to watch cover to cover. I think you can get as much enjoyment from sitting down and watching 5 minutes of that, or watching it 3 times in a row. It's there's no real linear story to it, so it doesn't freaking matter.
You know
I'd rather
what?
watch Bitch Slap.
I'm taking Buckaroo Banzai, and this is gonna tick Jay off, but I'm gonna say that it's not entirely unlike Sucker Punch.
Yeah, you take
In
me.
the,
off.
Shut your mouth.
in the sense that Buckaroo Banzai is like that perfect like movie that you've got playing on the video screen in a nightclub while the music's playing, so you can't, you don't hear it. It's just the visuals.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make a great music video.
It would. I think it was intended to be one. I mean, it's so mid 1980s, crazy, almost Repo Man kind of
Oh yeah, everybody's dressed like 80s
punk
Bowie.
rock, new wavy kind of feel to it. Yeah, yeah. And that was sort of the thing. It was like I kind of look at it as, and I think this is why I picked up as a cult hit. I think it was kind of the 80s version of Rocky Horror Picture Show, where it was sort of the same intention of, it's an homage to old pulpy, cheesy movies and novels and comics, and it's it's really dorky, but at the same time it's trying to be contemporary, so it's pulling in the sensibilities of wherever it is. In Rocky Horror's case, of course, it's it's crazy gay 70s trash punk couture,
right?
Like Broadway musicals and cabaret, mixed in with 1950s monster movies. Well, Buckaroo Banzai is kind of still taking the same thing: pulp stories, serials, the old cheesy shit science fiction from the 50s, and what it's applying to it is like 80s punk and new wave.
Yeah.
Very, very West Coast feel to it also. Just that whole. Sorry.
So it's a really, really fucked up Depeche Mode music video.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, it is. It is a very fucked up Depeche Mode video. That's literally what it is. And
past
that's
7, so we can swear.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's past 7 p.m. here, so we can swear.
Oh, okay, good.
Or okay.
Fuck.
There you go. Get it out of your system.
That's me.
Yeah, now you want.
All right. I'm
on
going to back out.
time, so I still got to kind of keep it clean.
All right, so Peter's story.
I got to throw you the Peter Weller story, which is classic.
Yeah.
So he was at Steel City not that long ago, and we were set up next to one blank on their name, Pedal Java. Pedal Java was this married couple that set up a coffee stand. They would do iced coffee, regular coffee, super good stuff. And they were always busy as hell. They had a huge line constantly going on. And they felt bad because, they're sitting next to us and they're like, well, we're going to get a big line and they're going to crowd you guys out. So if you want, the only thing we can do to make up for it is we'll give you free coffee all day if you want. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, and again, I turn around and show them, and Michelle and I both turn around and show them, as like, yeah, well, that's great because we can, if you give us a captive audience, we'll do even better. And that's exactly what we did. So it was kind of the beginning of this fun little partnership. We were playing off each other and just having a good time. And I got to be really close with these guys. Well, the one show, Peter Weller was there. And as with all the celebrities would do, they had handlers and runners that would come out and get them stuff. And they were all hooked on the coffee. Every celebrity that was ever there was like, they had people going back and forth getting coffee. Now, the people that run the coffee stand were adamant about nobody cuts in line. Don't care who you are. You do not cut in line. Because they always had a really big, long, slow-moving line. They didn't want to piss people off. So Peter Weller sends a handler out to get a coffee. And normally what they would do is tell the handlers, like, get in line, and we'll get you your coffee. It's no problem. Well, the kid gets really frustrated, and he's like, Mr. Weller wants his coffee now, and they're like, well, we don't care, you know. So he goes running back, and I guess he threw a fit. So much so that he came out himself. So he comes out to the coffee stand himself, and he tries to cut the line, and he pulls the "Do you know who I am?"
Yep. I was just gonna say.
And they just cut him a new one. Well, not even. I mean, it wasn't angry or nothing. It was just like she just looked at him and said, "I don't give a shit who you are. You're not cutting in front of these people. Get in line with everybody else if you want a coffee." And he just stood there dumbfounded, and he didn't know what to say, and he just kind of stormed off. Well, funny thing was, he comes back later with with 2 armfuls full of merch, and tells them, because the line had cut down a bit, and tells them he's sorry.
Oh,
He feels really bad. He realized he was acting like a total ass, and he said, it was just because he was stressed out and he wanted a coffee real bad, and he says he was just kind of caught up in the whole craziness of the day, and he just got frustrated, and that's why he kind of lashed out a little bit. And they were just like, okay, that's cool. But they ended up with, oh my God, so many autographs and books and copies of Robocop.
Did he get his coffee?
Yeah, he got his coffee. He got his coffee.
I've and when you do enough shows, you see a lot of the "Do you know who I am?" Bit going on, and there was one time where it was at the old Pittsburgh Comic Con. This was back when it was in the the old Expo Center. Jay?
Yeah.
And so we're out there with and it was attached to, was it a Radisson? Is that what it was?
At the time, it was a Radisson. Yeah, it's a DoubleTree now. But yeah.
So anyways, it was so the convention center was attached to the Radisson, and we had done the show, and then they had like the the stuff after the show, like the auction, silent auction, and all this other stuff, and we're out partying. Oh, and then they had the party at the penthouse. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So we're up in the penthouse, hanging out at the after party there, which is like only for the artists and vendors and guests and stuff like that. And we're hanging out with Aaron Douglas, right?
Oh yeah.
And he so they closed down the party in the penthouse, and it was a weird, I want to say that it was like Friday or Thursday or something like that. And we go down to the bar, and the bar's closing up, right? So we're walking in, and there's like, sorry guys, bar's closed. And I turned to Aaron, I was like, Aaron, you gotta pull the card, man. And he's like, what card? I was like, you gotta ask him, do you know who I am? Kind of a thing. And he goes, no, man, no. And I was like, dude, seriously, we got it. I mean, let's get around, right? So sure enough, he walks up there. He goes, hey man, do you know who I am? and sure enough, he explains it. He's like, oh, okay. And yeah, sure enough, they said, okay, yeah, because they had already had last call. They turned around and gave us a drink, gave us a round, which was hilarious. I was like, solid. Now we gave him grief for it afterwards. I mean, we set him up to pull the "Do you know who I am?" and then turn around and gave him grief for it. But
did I tell you about the girl from the Vampire Academy?
No.
I guess there was some TV show or movie. I don't know.
It was
I think it's still on, isn't it? Isn't it a brand new show?
I don't know. This was a couple years ago.
A new show. No, yeah, no. Well, then he was on Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, Aaron, yeah.
But No, that's what it was. There was a guy. We were just hanging out in the lobby, and there was like a guy that came out. I swear to God, there's an adult male comes out in like Spider-Man pajamas, and he's like, I don't know what he was doing, but he walks by and he like kind of sees Aaron and is like, holy shit, you know, and he goes, hey, it was like you know, we were finishing off our drinks, and he goes, hey, you guys, I got a case of beer back in my room. You guys want to go back there and, you know, hang out? And Aaron turns to him and says, why don't you go back to your room, go get the case of beer, bring it out here, and we'll just hang out here. And sure enough, the kid did. And but it was so funny because like he comes out and then like it's like three of his buddies that were in the room come out. They're like wiping the crust out of their eyes. They're also wearing like pajamas and stuff. And it was like probably the greatest night these guys ever had because they got to hang out with the chief.
Fandom, right? It's all about the fandom.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, Vampire Academy girl.
Oh, I'm zoned out there. Cincinnati. This was a couple of years ago, and I had done a sketch cover of Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I always mispronounce that actress's name. It's Pom Kleinman, I think is how it goes. But anyway, she was there. So I told Shell, I says, I'm going to go over and get her to, I'm going to pay for a signature and have her sign it that way. You know, we can do the markup on it. And it was, I mean, I went over there and she was just super gracious, just absolutely beautiful. And, you know, I got the signature and I just come back and I was just kind of going on and on and on about how just wonderful she was. Well, I'm back at the table and all of a sudden there's this young girl and this guy standing there at the table. And she looks kind of out of place. You know, she's kind of you know, at the time I wouldn't have known what to call her. Nowadays I just call her a YouTuber. That's what she looked like. And she's just standing there with, you know, she had this straight hair, like some goofy hat on, and just slurping away on this sucker, and just kind of this cocky look on her face. And she's just, you know, asking about artwork and stuff. And no, I take that back. She wasn't even really talking about anything. She was just kind of standing there. And Michelle was talking to her and, you know, asking her if, you know, she saw anything she liked or whatever, just trying to talk to her. The girl was just kind of standing there being a real bitch. And I didn't care because I was still coming off of, you know, the nitrous that was the you know, the Mantis chick. And I was just going on and on and on about how wonderful she was. And so I said to her, I says, so, you know, who are you? And she says, well, I said, are you set up here? And she says, well, yeah. And I said, well, where are you set up? She says, well, I'm over in the celebrity area. Without missing a beat, and I did this completely honest, not even trying to be a dick. I just went, have you met Pom? What's her name? She's absolutely wonderful. And I just kept talking about her. And this guy that's with her is standing there kind of like doing the hand across the neck, like, no, stop. And this girl gets pissed, and she just kind of storms off. And the guys, but before the guy went after her, though, he turned and looked at me and just gave me this look like, you know, like he was laughing his ass off, almost like, you know, God, thank you very much. You know, you made my day. And here we found out it was like this lead.
My day at the same time.
Yeah, you ruined my day, but it was worth it, kind of a look. And here it turns out she was this actress from that damn show or movie or whatever the hell it was. And I guess she was being a real diva. And this was her handler. And she was doing the whole walking around, you know, do you know who I am thing. And I just completely ignored her. I just nuked her. I'm like, yeah, I don't know who you are. Yeah, sorry. But let's
Did
talk
I-
about a different celebrity, you know? It was just like, fuck you.
I think I must have missed it. Who was she?
Did what?
Who was she?
The Mad Girl or the other one?
Yeah, the Mad Girl, yeah.
It was from, I don't know, Vampire Academy, I want to say.
Oh,
Vampire
okay.
Diaries?
Vampire Diaries, maybe?
Yeah,
I think
never.
Vampire
I don't know.
Academy
She was...
is the new-
Okay, maybe it's Vampire Diaries.
Yeah,
Again, like I cared, you know. I mean, Michelle was laughing, telling me who she was, and I was just like, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, there's Yeah, it's funny because I mean, there's a certain there's some celebrities that are super super cool, and there are others that are a little unhinged.
nuts.
The I always find it kind of funny that if you're a celebrity, and you're on the comic convention circuit, there's probably you're probably not it's probably not something that you should
You're not
walking
that
around
big.
with your ego on your sleeve kind of a thing,
Well, some of them do.
yeah, and it's like and don't get me wrong, I mean, when you take something like a Bill Shatner as an example, right, or even like a Carrie Fisher, or something like that, where they rarely do the those appearances.
But they carry the show, right?
What's that?
They're
Carrie
like
Fisher.
they're the headliners.
Right. But right. I mean, it's also they don't do this all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, there's a certain amount of that you kind of expect. But I mean, if you're and don't get me wrong, I've never had an issue with the guy. I've heard stories, but if you're like Lou Ferrigno, still signing photographs of the 1970s Hulk show, kind of a thing, and you're at every single convention, yeah, drop the ego,
Yeah, I just gotta say though, every time I've ever met him though, was the exact opposite. He was really nice.
Yeah, no, he's, and that's the other thing too, is that a lot of those celebrities, it's like, to your point with like the Peter Weller story, it's like sometimes they have off days, man. I mean, so like your experience with a celebrity, at one point may be completely different. You can't walk away and say, wow, that guy's a jerk, and then carry that on. First impressions are awful.
Well, let's not forget how many people we've probably pissed off.
Oh,
not even thinking about it. Just joking around, or or just
like
having a
that
bad
girl
day.
from Vampire Diaries.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, did I intend to do that? No, I wasn't even trying to be mean. I was just kind of in my own world, and I was just so amazed that this one celebrity was so nice that I didn't even think that, oh my God, you're walking from one celebrity to another and not even thinking about it,
Right.
So here I was rude to this person, and I had no idea.
Yep. No, I've done that numerous times myself.
Well, I mean, even just being off-putting. I mean, I still talk about this a lot. There was a guy at Pittsburgh who came up to the table one time, and I don't even remember being this way. But Michelle said it was really obvious. I was not nice to this guy. I was really cold and just dismissive and kind of a dick to him. And a lot of it was he came up to the table and he started asking me about doing a Punisher commission.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up and I was about to start talking to him, and immediately I noticed a big freaking swastika on his neck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's one of those, I didn't even think fast enough. And it was just kind of, what do you do? And I didn't even make a conscious effort. I wasn't even trying to consciously address this. I think in my mind, I was just like, talk to this guy, get him out of here,
Yeah. You dismissed them already.
And it was coming across obvious. And Michelle said, "Yeah, you were really rude to him." And I said, "I didn't even notice it. I mean, not that I really care, I mean,
Right.
they were rude to Western civilization. So,
Well, and here's the thing,
no,
and this goes back to the whole first impression thing, right? Never judge a book by its cover, right? I mean, we've all
no, you
seen
shouldn't.
American History X, right?
Well, let me finish. Let me throw in real quick. I know where you're going with
maybe
this.
he was an undercover cop.
Well, I said, let me throw in real quick. I mean, I've thought about this at occasion so much. I mean, I joked there when I said that earlier, but I mean, the truth is I felt terrible. And a lot of it was, what if it was just, he was in prison? What if, it's just a freaking tattoo. It's not like he came goose stepping up to the table and started talking about Jews. I mean, it was a freaking tattoo that threw me. And it completely threw me to the point where, I started reacting to it and not even realizing it. And it's, as I say, when guys are having bad days, I mean, I started trying to be a little more sympathetic to these guys when, you go up and talk to them and sometimes they're dismissive and cold and you're like, I don't envy them right now anyway. I mean, they're traveling from city to city just trying to make a living. Their show's been canceled for 20 years. And this is their only form of income.
And it's not even in syndication.
Yeah. This is it, man. This is all they got.
Yeah, no, and you're right. I mean, that's the, it's a little, again, it's tricky. Now, that being said, with the whole, everybody has a bad day kind of thing, there are also people that are truly dickheads.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just who they are.
Yeah, but that's what everybody says that they're a dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've run into a couple. I know Josh and I both have run into a couple of these guys that were, they're consistently mean. They're consistently rude. They're consistently ill-tempered. And you just wonder why the hell they're even there. And I've seen, there's one guy in particular, I'm not going to mention who he was, but I mean, he was on a big sci-fi show back in the 70s. And he was always coming around Pittsburgh. They always seemed to book him. And every time he was there, he was just a total ass, snapping at people, yelling at people. He was taking his time. He would show up late half the time. And this was just consistent.
Who is this?
So yeah. It was one of the guys from Battlestar Galactica, not the new one, the old one.
Right. No. I blanked out my internet connection.
Yeah, he didn't say the name.
Yeah. But no, I mean, as I say, I sympathize. Yeah, sometimes it's just a bad day, but I got even Shatner. I've run into Shatner, and Shatner has been absolutely nice as hell.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about how terrible he is. I mean, he was actually very nice to me.
Yep.
And but then again, I just ran into him in the hallway. He was heading back to the bathroom, going to a panel. He was getting ready to do a panel, and I was crossing Artist Alley, and we just kind of like ran into each other. And I stopped, and I just said, "Excuse me," and I looked at him and says, "Oh, by the way, hey," and I said, "Thanks, Captain. I love the show," and he just kind of smiled, and he said, he stood there for a couple seconds and just thanked me and said some nice things and went on. Yeah, I mean, it was very gracious. Like, wow.
See, I never liked the original Star Trek, and I don't like him as Kirk. But if you've ever watched Boston Legal, one of those.
Wait, Denny
Crane. Oh, that is him and Spader, and you couldn't have any two other actors do that. Nobody would have that chemistry, right? Or that rapport that the two of them had, and it's just Denny Crane.
I love Spader.
Yeah,
he's and more importantly, there's numerous times that I've checked this out. One of my favorite movies ever is that The General's Daughter.
Oh yeah,
okay,
that is a good movie. So, I forgot all about that. With Travolta.
Yeah, with Travolta and Madeline.
And Sam Jackson, right?
No. That's
No.
No, that's Basic. Never mind.
Yeah, that's Basic. That's a good one too.
Yeah, that is a good one.
But no, Madeline Stowe, and James Cromwell
Yeah.
was
James
the general.
Cromwell. Yeah.
Well,
And wasn't Timothy Hutton in that too? And Timothy Hutton, wasn't he in that?
I love Timothy Hutton too. But yeah, he was in that. But the general's daughter, right? The character that died. That's Spader's wife.
Oh, okay. She was a big time character actress for a while. She was in a ton of stuff around that time, and then just dropped off.
Yeah, she was great in that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, man, and again, it's like every time I see a movie, show, whatever, and I was like, where do I know this person from? And I'm always on I'll just pop on IMDb and figure out who this actor is.
Do you like
whatever.
Do you like murder mysteries, Dre?
Some.
If
I like everything as long as it's entertaining. So.
Yeah, well, that's what this is. I mean, it kind of is a bit of a military drama, a court drama.
What, the General's Daughter? No, I've seen the General's Daughter. I was just confusing it.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you had. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, I thought you had.
I just I was confusing it with Basic because Travolta.
Basic. I'm sorry. My bad.
Or speaking of Sam Jackson, what was that one, another military court drama kind of a thing, the Tommy Lee Jones and Sam Jackson? That was a great movie too. I think it was in Iraq, and Sam Jackson's on trial for basically murdering a bunch of people, right? And Tommy Lee Jones is his old buddy. They're both colonels, and but he's with the JAG outfit. He's a lawyer, and he Sam Jackson asks him to represent him in this thing, and he's like this washed up, drunk lawyer. Tommy Lee Jones is. But yeah, that's a great flick too.
Can't remember that one.
Oh, so Michelle and I we went to the movies last night.
Nice.
Oh, what'd you see?
Have you guys heard of Barbarian yet?
Yeah, the Disney one.
No. No. So I did
that no. 100%.
Yeah.
That's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Part of the Fox acquisition, but that's Disney.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
But you're familiar with it. You've heard of it, right?
Yeah. I did a campaign for it last week. So.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. I heard good things for it. About it.
Do you know the whole? I mean, do you know what happens since you worked with it? Do you know what goes on in it, or
I don't know the twist because I haven't watched it, and people are like, "Oh, you got it!" Like they're like, "No, I don't want to. Don't tell me. I'll watch it at one point."
All right. I do got to give you a heads up though, at least on something. If I was kind of struggling with trying to get my head around this movie. It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a great movie, but it hit me that what this is very much like Psycho. The story's not like Psycho, but what happens in it is very much like Psycho, where it completely throws you. You'll go in and you get set up right away. It's like the movie is really, really leading you down this one path, and then suddenly, bam, the entire movie changes.
Yeah.
And then it all ties in together at the end. And
they do it really well.
And they do it really, really well. And if you stop and you think about what you just saw and what the movie was about, you would think it was fucking stupid. You would go, that is ridiculous. And you can see now why they're doing it the way they are, because if they marketed it like a regular horror film, it'd have bombed. It would have just been terrible. People would have been bitching about it. They would have just been, completely thrown. And I think as the filmmakers kind of were considering, they wouldn't have got it, because that's the whole point of the movie. It's very much like Hitchcock. It strings you along and then just completely pulls it out from under you and then swaps it out with something else. And then when you finally get through everything, you realize just how simple the storyline was, and everything makes complete sense. And not one thing is wasted in that entire movie. I mean, it's like it doesn't waste your time at all. So yeah, we just came out going, wow, what happened there? That was like a thrill ride.
So what genre would you categorize it in? Because I know we had a conversation trying like, is it
See,
horror?
that's a
Is it
tough
thriller? Because one of the things in
the
film
story.
so hang on, I'll tell you this the background behind it.
Sure, go
One
ahead.
of the big things in film marketing is trying to, when you identify your core audience, right? Simple enough. It's
right.
this actor, it's the people that love him in this role. But it's like, what movies would you need to like for me to be able to tell you like this movie?
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's always the question. And one of the
Yeah.
one of the challenges that you face when you're working with a studio is that they live within their own bubble, right? So it's like, for example, oh, you liked Black Panther, so you're gonna like Black Panther too. But it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
there's got to be more product. So what I'm asking you, because this is a thing that I couldn't get an answer on for this film, and I hadn't seen it. How would you categorize it, or like, what movie would you need to have liked that's plays the same,
Psycho.
or
Yeah,
Psycho.
if you like this, and you're gonna
If you like
love
Psycho.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
Psycho. Because it plays you just like Psycho does. It's the same kind of thrill ride that Psycho is. And
So
very much like Psycho.
So would you label it as a psychological thriller?
No, not
Okay.
even close. And that's the catch. See, this is the catch. The movie is really about kind of a basic horror story. It would fit right in with like 1980s VHS low budget horror films. So I mean, and I might ruin it here when I say this, but here's the thing: you want me to categorize it and risk me throwing a spoiler at you?
Sure.
The two movies I would say that if you will like this movie are Psycho and The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay.
Because it plays up with a subject matter along the lines of creepy ass horror films. It's far-fetched. It's not psychological. Psycho is, or even like just recently with Black Phone. Those are real people, and it was a psychological situation. And even though Black Phone threw in supernatural elements, it was sort of debatable. Psycho, through the whole movie, it's more based. There's nothing really. It's the situation more than it is the character. But this movie is along the lines of take that sort of a formula, but plug it into something crazy ass, like flesh-eating mutants in the desert, which is The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Or okay. Also, if you like Tarantino, because the storyline is non-linear, like a Tarantino movie. It runs along and then all of a sudden goes back and backstory to you without warning.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's going to market itself more with word of mouth than it is anything else. And I know that doesn't do guys like you any good because you know what your job is. But if I was in your position, I would really kind of lean on that whole Psycho thing, because it is very much like that. That's I started thinking about that too. It's like, okay, and it's a one-word title that is sort of misleading, but is ominous. You have a character in it that you are damn certain is one thing and turns out not to be anything like that. And then you have a character in it that you are damn certain is going to do one thing and then completely does the opposite. And what you think is the villain or the monster really isn't.
So looking at more modern things, have you seen Old?
Yeah, I've seen Old.
Okay, what did you think of that?
I didn't like it.
Okay. Nope.
I love Nope.
Okay. Would you bundle it with people that like Nope, or is it just way too different?
I would bundle it with people who like Nope, in that it makes you think. You know, you're going to get pulled in, and you're going to really give a crap about the story. And like Nope, you get a situation that's happening that's like, oh, come on, that's fucking crazy, you know. But yet, it's told in a way so that it does make it actually believable, and you know, you do give a damn, even though the subject matter is something that's just completely ridiculous. The
I think,
and the only other thing I could bundle it with, as I said,
Dre's
was the
kinda
Black Phone. Was the Black Phone, because it's again very much like that, it's a low budget suspense film that's masquerading more as a horror film, and it's trying to be more of a horror film, and it's a very tight story. It's a very, very tight plot. It's a very tight script, and it does exactly what the script, you know, you go through the same emotions that the script exactly wants you to do, you know. So it's very tight writing. So yeah, if you want to ask me, is like, you know, what movie do you like if you want to see this movie? It's like, yeah, I would go with Black Phone, Psycho, and Nope, if you want to do modern ones.
All right. Sorry, Warner, you were trying to say something?
Hey guys.
Oh,
Hello?
look, I'm back.
What?
I was. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, I don't know if you can hear me. I gotta go.
Oh,
You okay?
You can't. My batteries are dead.
Oh, okay, man.
Right.
It's great catching up.
Just.
Weekend. Jay's dropping.
I was gonna say that.
He's gone.
Dre. To Jay, that Dre's kind of looking for that Jayism in terms of, you know, how do you know, what's that elevator pitch kind of a thing?
Well, the thing is, I heard the elevator pitch, and I was like, okay, this is weird. But
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
it's like and Jay came up with like the best description of my book, right? And I think it's you know.
So sorry, was your book the Baywatch Nights with Vampires? No, that was his.
No, that's Sean's, Sean's is was it? It's and I think everybody can kind of come up with like a better pitch of somebody else's, you know, IP kind of.
Yeah, of course, because you're close to it, and
Yeah,
you have a certain
and, like,
view of it that may not be what's translating to someone else.
Right, and like, you know, somebody's like, "Oh, what's your book about?" And you know, it's like, "Well, I got this guy. He's a moose. He's kind of like, you know, what if Peter Parker was Batman, kind of a thing." And you know, and you go into this thing, and you're trying to, you're trying to vocalize what it is, but it's really kind of hard to describe. Whereas it's like, you know, yeah, Sean, what's his book about? And it's like, hey, you know, you like Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Well, imagine that she's a werewolf slayer, and she happens to be a descendant of Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Bam, done.
Done.
Right.
Yeah.
Jay's book, you know, Merry Monster, it's like, you know, it's basically a pinup model that was genetically created on the island of Dr. Moreau. Kind of.
Oh yeah, so Baywatch Nights with monsters. Yeah, that was his.
Right.
Got it. Yeah.
And then yeah, exactly. Whereas Jay, and it was like, you know, Jay actually, and I told him, I was like, dude, I'm stealing that. I'm absolutely using that in terms of my pitch. But he was like, yeah, no, the Adventures of Mighty Moose is basically if you took Dark Knight Returns, and if Dark Knight Returns and Zootopia had a baby, that's what the Adventures of Mighty Moose is. And I'm like,
Perfect.
that's exactly it. So yeah, I mean that's and then but Jay was kind of going into the whole explanation of the thing. It's like, nah, just do the Jayism where you like a hey, it's
shit, I gotta
Psycho
wrap it up then.
meets
Psycho meets The Hills Have Eyes.
Hills Have Eyes or whatever. Yeah.
I gotta wrap up in like 10 minutes. Just
Yeah, that's
FYI.
cool.
Yeah, I know you said half an hour, but sorry.
Yeah, I know. I think I missed the window anyway. So, but yeah, it's so funny that Jay had to drop out because his battery was dying when we were streaming Wednesday. Totally forgot to plug my phone in.
Oh,
So did the whole stream like unplugged, and I wrap it up, I get out, and I was like, damn it, and then plugged my phone in. Good news is I got Bullseye all masked out.
good job.
Actually, I got to do the edges here.
Masking takes a while, huh?
It does. I mean, and like I said, it's all of my paint is all over the place, so it's not like it's even easily accessible to like actually work on it. So
Yeah. Well, you got to do it anyway, so
mm-hmm.
might as well get it out of the way.
And again, just here for the chat, anyways. Not really accomplishing anything.
Yeah, so I think I'm done with random from now, but still got my yellow. I want to finish off this Pika Pika.
Pika Pika. I did that once. A Pokemon painting. I don't know. Was it? I don't remember if it was a sketch card or I don't know what it was, but it was like a quote unquote realistic Pikachu.
Yeah, I mean, I looked up a photo of the Charizard from the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah. Oh,
the Detective Pokemon.
Free Guy?
No, the Pokemon with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Detective Pikachu, I think it was.
Yeah. Yep.
Which, was an entertaining movie, but I didn't understand what the hell was going on half the time because I don't know much, like, anything about Pokemon.
I never saw it. I mean, I was intrigued by it just by the sense that, wait a minute, you're taking this pocket monster.
Yeah, I don't
turn him into Sherlock Holmes and have him voiced by Ryan Reynolds. I mean, it was just one of those things where, yeah, something's going on here. I got to check it out, but never did.
I don't know, like, how it falls into the whole Pokemon culture, but it was entertaining for the most part. Not something I'd probably ever watch again, but
yeah,
he's just funny. I mean, it's the personality that Ryan Reynolds brings to characters that you can't ignore.
Oh my goodness, that Free Guy movie was pretty darn good.
Free Guy was genius.
But I think it was what was the hulked out version of him? The Dude or something?
Free Dude. Yeah.
Dude, he was. Oh my goodness, that was so funny.
It's just
he also did Juggernaut too. So
is it the same guy?
Ryan Reynolds played Juggernaut in the
in Deadpool?
Yeah, in Deadpool 2.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a CG'd character, so
Yeah, but I mean, he did the mocap on it and the the voice.
Yeah, but in Free Guy, there's I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's a football player who's the body, and they
Oh, was it?
yeah, and they uh, deep faked Ryan Reynolds on top.
Oh, okay. I thought it was hilarious where he had the what was it, the tattoo of the blue shirt.
Yeah, and all the cameos, right?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of cameos, Bullet Train, the Brad Pitt action movie.
Yeah,
So many cameos without spoilers.
what did I see? I went and saw something at the theater with the family. I don't remember what it was. But we saw the trailer for that, and I was like, oh, I think it was the same time we saw that. You guys were talking about Nope. Saw the trailer for that at the same movie. But yeah, that Bullet Train looked like it was a fun movie.
Yeah, there's a million cameos in it. It's so great.
I like it when you get actors kind of like Brad Pitt in the where they're generally kind of known for maybe more serious stuff. And Brad Pitt is actually probably a perfect example of this. Like, because his career is, everybody knows him from like whatever the that fishing movie, and
The river runs through it,
River
or
Runs Through It. Yeah, things like that. That's what you think of when you think of Brad Pitt. But if you think of I like to think of like Burn After Reading, and The
Snatch.
Mexican, and
Yeah,
Snatch, things like that. I mean, that's a guy who's actually kind of really, not overtly made a career of doing, the independent films and the, those, silly things,
well, yeah. If you look at like Mr. and Mrs. Smith and
Mm-hmm.
like Snatch, she's great in Snatch. But then he also did Benjamin Button and
Right.
The 7 Years a Slave. Like really diverse slate. Deadpool 2.
I think Leo DiCaprio probably fits in that mold too. I've never been a huge DiCaprio fan, but he's had a couple of performances where I was like, oh man, he's actually the real deal.
Wolf of Wall Street.
The Aviator.
Yeah.
And then, but he did that. What was that Netflix movie?
That was a great movie. Yeah, that was great.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And really on point in terms of, from a social, like, looking from the outside in on social behaviors and things like that. I thought it was freaking genius. I mean, it was less of a movie and more of a commentary.
That was a great movie.
And I know I've heard like people like poo it, and it's like, yeah, I think.
Well, because people like you don't know what to expect, right? And it's a certain kind of movie because it's the same guy that did Moneyball, speaking of Brad Pitt, and The Big Short.
Yeah.
Big Short's fantastic. Again, Brad Pitt in that, and Christian Bale, and just a fantastic cast. But yeah, I don't know. It's not for everyone because it's a different kind of entertainment. And I understand why people are poo-pooing on it. But I don't know. I can see people poo-pooing on it. I don't understand why everybody's got to
Yeah,
poo-poo on stuff that
I
I
just
think they
think that
don't
it
like.
is. Yeah, I think it was one of those things where somebody, most people were probably expecting like this hilarious comedy kind of a thing, and not necessarily picking up what they were putting down in terms of the commentary of it. You know,
Yeah.
which if you look at it from that standpoint, in my perspective, it actually makes the movie that much better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It makes the movie funnier when you look at it from the perspective of it being a commentary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's the old adage. It's only funny because it's true,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a thing, and that's hilarious. But that's just me. Speaking of movies, good and bad, you saw Thor in the theaters, right?
I haven't seen Thor.
Oh, okay,
I'm hopefully this weekend.
okay.
I'm looking
Because
forward to watching it, but
I was chatting with Amanda via direct message, because joking about this project here, and it came up about Thor. She said something like she hasn't seen the new Thor movie yet, and I mistakenly said I saw it and was a little let down, because I think after seeing Ragnarok or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, cool, same director, it's gonna be fun, and it was fun, but it was like, it just didn't hit on all those same notes, for
yeah.
some reason. So it was a I mean it, and I don't know if it, there's nothing that you could point to say, oh, it would have been better if they had done this kind of a thing. It just, I don't know. It just
It's
didn't.
just something didn't quite click.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not saying that it's a horrible movie by any means. I'm just saying it didn't, okay. It didn't step up to the expectations that I had for it. So,
Yeah, and this is kind of why I chose not to watch it earlier, to kind of let the hype die out. So my expectations aren't necessarily as high, and I can just. I did the same thing with the Batman.
that's actually the only reason that I'm even talking about it right now, because usually, oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, well then I won't say anything. But the only reason I'm saying anything is because if I'm lowering your expectations, you may enjoy it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to like what you're expecting to see at that time. And honestly, I like right now, I just want to see it because I think it might be entertaining. But
Oh no, it's definitely entertaining, and it's great to see Natalie Portman back. I mean, she was a fun Thor character. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I mean, it was good, but it just, I don't know. It just didn't hit on all cylinders for me. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I said, hopefully this weekend I'll watch it. Then we can have a
And don't
more
get me wrong.
in-depth conversation.
I'm not poo pooing it, but I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's the greatest Marvel movie ever. But to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna watch it again.
So I'll tell you, I did watch like Spider Verse, not Spider Verse,
Into the Spider-Verse.
um, No Way Home
Oh,
with all the Spider Man.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's a movie that made a ridiculous amount of money, got everybody excited. I don't think it was that good.
No, you're right.
Probably, like, definitely not one of my top Spider Man.
No, it was fun. It was
It
fun from
was,
that
but
that geek factor where it's like, ah, sweet, blah blah
Yeah,
blah. But I mean,
for me, that
as
wore off
overall
real quick.
film, you know what, a lot of these films too, and this was the big thing for me as a certainly as a parent. I think we went to the theater to see, it was the second of the third portion of the what was the Star Wars movie?
Oh,
Not the
Jedi or
no not
Skywalker?
no the middle one.
No, I don't remember that one. No. I don't remember what it's
It
called. I
was
know what you're
you
talking
had
about.
Force Awakens. What whatever the second one was,
Yeah.
right? Which got poo-pooed by like the entire galaxy, far far away, a long time ago. The I came out of the movie not incredibly impressed with it, but I turned to my daughter, who's a Star Wars fan. I mean, she, ever since she was a toddler, she was watching the Star Wars, and this is like her generation of Star Wars films. Like the
Yeah.
prequels came before she did. Obviously the originals were long before her generation. So this is her generation Star Wars, right? And she had grown up watching all the other films. And we came out, and I was like, oh, man, that movie was just not awesome. But I turned to my kid and I was like, hey, what'd you think? Did you like it? She goes, it was great. And it's like, bingo, it's a winner,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's all about perspective.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm not. And see, like a lot of people get all uppity and defensive. It's like, oh, you don't like that movie, you're an idiot, right? No.
Oh yeah.
I don't. I don't subscribe to that. Like, there's
No,
so
I
many
agree.
factors in play and what resonates with you and what didn't. But
That was and that it goes back to the joke about Sucker Punch. Jay hates that movie. Absolutely hates
does he?
it. Oh
Okay, I
yeah.
thought he liked it.
No, he despises it. And it was one of those things where I actually enjoyed that movie. I liked it.
Me too.
But it's I'm also willing to admit, no, it's not a good movie.
Oh no,
Because
it's not a. It's got a ton of flaws, but
oh yeah, no, I mean
it's
it's
entertaining,
simply
and like that's something that for me, like when I just insert no drop, like one the big thing that I look at, like movies and TV shows, is entertainment. I don't necessarily need
yeah,
you to move me. I don't need you to educate me. I just want to be entertained. That's why I'm like, I'll watch all genres. Comedy, romance,
right,
horror, action, suspense, thriller, whatever. I'll watch it. I'll watch it all. I don't discriminate. But I
yep,
just need to be entertained. And I'm
exactly.
easy enough
And
to
that was
entertain.
the
But
thing, is that he absolutely hated it. And I was like, and I told Jay, I was like,
are you there? You still there? Warner?
am I back?
You're back.
All right. I was telling Jay, you're looking at it the wrong, from the wrong perspective. You're looking at it as, is it good cinema? And I was like, dude, it's the best music video ever made.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all it is. I mean, you could turn around and like dig into the little nuances that Zach did, but I mean, on the surface, it's just a music video,
Yeah.
and a
100%.
really really good one at that. So I don't know. It's all it is. It's all eye candy. That's it.
And it's got a modest story. That's about it.
Yeah, but but it's a fun film.
Yep.
You know, as long as you look at it from the, you know, I mean, you don't. Yeah, it's not high concept at all.
All right, man. I gotta wrap it up. I've been on for almost 2 hours. I think that's enough.
Good times. Yeah, I gotta
Yeah, I'm sure you gotta go too.
I gotta go paint my ceiling.
Cool. Well, great job on the masking.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy. I think, yeah, good stuff.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I don't think there's anybody still watching.
Yeah, I know.
Lost like an hour ago.
Everybody's like, dude, why am I watching this guy rip tape? But whatever. Oh,
cool.
Are you checking in this weekend for the for Fuller's?
I might. I'll see what I'm
Extravaganza?
doing from around. Maybe not Saturday, but on Sunday. I mean, that's in the middle of the day, so depending on what hours I'm doing at the time.
Saturday, tomorrow. Saturday is tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, Saturday,
yeah. So I got another soccer game that we're going to on Saturday tomorrow, and it happens to game time is the same time as the thing. So I might check in at like halftime or something from the stands, but more than likely it's going to be Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, might even jump in on the stream. Just
all right. Well, yeah, we'll see if you're on. You're around. Don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to get my ass home now.
All right. Yeah. Good idea. Go
Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next time.
You too, man.
Bye.
Later.